Hello everybody, hope you're well. Right then, we've got a crack on with a busy week doing lots of little jobs to get this roof completely finished, ready to hand over to the roofer. If you missed last week's episode, don't worry, there's a link to it in the description, but it was an absolute roofing masterclass of Richard and Corby building a structure to this phase of this job, if you like. But it's lots of little jobs just to go back and just to finish it off so the roofer can do his job in its entirety. So we're going to explain all about that. Then we're going to get some ceiling joists in, and then we're going to put a Flitch beam in, an alternative to steel. We're going to talk about that. I think there's 3 to do in this job, and we're going to do the first one within this episode. Now then, I want to say a massive thank you again to all our regular viewers who have donated to our Birmingham's Children's Hospital fundraising thing that we're doing through Super Thanks. You buy a Super Thanks and then every single penny of that goes towards buying presents for the kids that find themselves at Birmingham's Children's Hospital over this coming Christmas. Now then, to coincide with that, we've had a look at our analytics and 58% of you apparently aren't subscribed to this channel, and we really would appreciate it if you did, because simply it grows the channel. You've heard it before, but it's true, it does do it. And the bigger we get this channel, the bigger that the more appealing we are to companies who want to give us stuff that we can give away in order to raise money for said fund. Now then, that being said, next week we're going to have an episode, a video I should say, from Exca, the people who supplied us with wallets a couple of weeks ago. Well, they've give us stuff for free to give to you as a giveaway. So we're going to do it, and all proceeds, every single penny raised from that, will go towards the kids at Birmingham Children's Hospital. So please subscribe so you do not miss that video. Now then, me personally, I'm going to head off for a little bit because I have got a bit of an awkward job to go and help for a customer, for a subscriber that I'm not allowed to film. So I've got to go and do that for a couple of days. So I'm going to hand you over to Richard and Corby in their capable hands of finishing these roofs off.
Well, first off then, Corby has been busy and he's got all of this framework in this cut-up. That's all finished and has been felted, as you can see. What I've been doing is prepping another beam to carry the porch, because I don't know if you've already talked about it, but if we haven't, then here it is. You will know that I've already put that double 8x2 in there, look, and I've then run this, has got to come over, as Adam talked about, because it's got to be 150 past the brickwork over there. That's why we've come out so far with this one, so it's all in line, which is really good now. So you'll see when we start to do works inside how I've structured this beaming, but you'll see it. It goes all the way through, all the way back into that room there, and I've sat it on on a beam, which is then sat on blockwork. I've then pulled this double 6x2, because it's only carrying these 3 rafters there, all the way into the room, onto a beam as well. And you will see how short it is there. There's a reason for that, and I'll explain that right now for you. Cut it short. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a ladder frame in there just to make that bit up now, which isn't a massive deal, but I wanted it to extend level with that one and put the rafter on the end, the same as that, but I didn't, because I cocked it up. So I had to cut my felt, I had to cut my insulation, and I wrapped it all back round that 6x2 again. This beam is on here just temporarily for now, just to allow me to get that beam in the right place, to then allow me to cut that plywood down, which was already on here. Again, temporarily just screwed in. I think we did this last night, so it would have been just after we left you last episode. This is what myself and Corby did. We got the ply on this. This is all tannalised, as you can see, because it's the external frame. The insulation there goes up about 200mm higher than the ceiling, so we are about there with our wall plate. So when the insulation goes on the inside for the ceiling void, it'll be above this, hence we haven't gone all the way up, because there's no need, because that is ventilated roof void in there. Hence we haven't gone all the way up. There's no need. We just need to make sure you're above your ceiling line, which we are. So our plan from now is then, I'm going to finish this. We're going to get this ply back on here now it's been cut. Get this complete, get this finished in plywood, get the rafters on there. And then we are going to tackle the external frame on this one to allow us to finish all this insulation and get that up to where we need to be. The same as the one behind me, 200 or 300mm above the ceiling line. So we'll just crack on with that then. my intention was to put a couple of time lapses on after you saw us put these end rafters on here to carry the barge board, but I've done what I've got to get done, and I'll show you in a minute, but I couldn't have got a good shot. So this is just a progress update really. Corby has got his base railing now and started getting his uprights. He's just cutting all his uprights now, all the cuts and all the 32-degree cuts on the top, ready to fill this framework in, and then we'll insulate it and plywood that, including all round here as well. And I have finished this. This is all plywooded now and all done, and I've gone right in the corners all the way down there as well, as you can see, which is why I couldn't film it. I've finished this, put my ladder frame on, that's ready to go. I've got to nail my beam off inside now. Apart from that, that's complete, and I've done all the way down the bottom of there as well. So there we are. Corby's going to carry on now, get his frame done, get the insulation in, and then we can wrap up the day by plywooding and covering both these in with Tyvek, or breathable membranes are available. There we are then, let's crack on. A little time lapse, and you will have seen or noticed a little bit of a gap in what we've actually achieved. We didn't put this on the time lapse just because I turned it off, talked to the customer, and forgot to turn it back on, and I didn't want to get him in the shot. So there we are, forgot to put it back on. So you've seen us put these on, which is our barge board rafter. Corby has then gone ahead and put in all of our tannalised uprights at 400 centres, and then we insulated, as we did on the other one over there, above the internal line of insulation. We went down a little bit lower there because we had to go and meet the cavity insulation down there, so we dropped that one down there just to make sure we touch it all the way around, and then we finished off by putting a little bit in that little bit of cavity there, or in the block wall to the right hand side of that lintel. This is complete now other than the plywood, so we're going to get ourselves sorted now. Pack all our gear away because it's starting to rain a little bit and it's just gone 4 o'clock. So we'll get our plywood cut maybe before we finish, and then in the morning, first job, tack all this on and insulate it. That'll be complete, and then we're going to be going inside. Whether we get to show you any of that, I don't know yet, because it is rather tight. You would have seen from when Adam was building the brickwork, some of the spaces, including the kitchen at the far end, is rather tight. And it's dark as well, so whether we can actually get anything at all and capture what we're doing, I don't know. It may be a case of this is what we're doing, here it is. So I don't know, we'll have to see and wait until to start that tomorrow. What I've done while Corby's been doing that, I've completed my beam, which is a double 6x2 that goes all the way back into that room there. I shall show you that when we start to move inside, how I've structured all of that. But it is only carrying this little bit of a flyover. So the double 8x2 is carrying these 3 rafters here, and this double 6x2 is carrying these 3 little rafters here. So I've just ladder framed that and I've just fixed it into the side there. What I will be doing is I'll put a little bit of a timber on there and put myself a collar tie across that when we come to structure the underside and form a bit of a ceiling. Unless of course they want it all open, then we'll do it a different way then. We don't quite know how high, or should I say how low, we're going with this yet, but I think that's sort of where we're going to be, because any further over we start interrupting with window openings. So obviously there it is there, so if we come over this way anymore, we'd be in that window opening. My opinion is, because of the roof, I think we're going to have to trim this back about 100mm this way to the left, which would then mean I'll level it across and trim these back 100mm, but we shall see. All the ply was completed, 60mm galvanised ring shank nails in my nail for all that plywood there, about 150mm cents is what I did, because I've got to put lath on that and then hang cladding off it, so I'll make sure it's nice and secure. That ultimately ties in our structure on this front now as well, ties it in nice and tight, because everything's fixed together. The framework's fixed to the underside of the rafters, and then it's all fixed together to the wall plate at the bottom, so I'm pleased with that. What we're going to do now, I think, as I've already said, I think we might just look at our plywood, maybe get a couple cut and get it screwed on in the morning first thing when we come back. So I'm glad the fog's cleared up, because it was quite foggy and horrible this morning, but certainly looks nicer now. Right then, we'll see you in the morning. Well, we're certainly testing our waterproofing of the existing house today with our temporary lath and felt, but let's hope it works. The weather's not great, but it is only slightly raining a little bit. So what we've done first of all is the plywood that you saw us put on in the very last bit of time lapse you saw. Corby's now gone through and nailed all those plywood boards on now, felted it as you can see, and then put a lath top and bottom to cover the joins to stop the wind blowing that off. We also put some lath and felt, some lath on here, again, just for the wind. You might just need to put one at the top there, but it's more about the wind blowing over these rolling hills that you can't quite see because it's too foggy, but you have to trust me. The wind getting up and then ripping this felt off, so that's what we're going to try and stop, but we reckon it should be okay on the top. However, we probably will do that anyway. Today we are looking at structuring some beams, so let's go and have a look at that. What we're trying to do now is we're trying to carry the roof load temporarily while we add a beam, which is a Flitch beam, so that's timber one side, then a piece of steel, and then a timber on the other side. So it's, in effect, it's a steel sandwich. And it is called a Flitch beam. Now, what we've got to do, we've got to get up and under. Let me try and show you from here. In fact, let me move. I'll show you from inside here. What we've got the wall plate there. What I need to do is I need to go underneath these existing rafters here. So like I've just said, I've put this temporary stud work in here to carry the roof load, make sure these are all in tension. So in effect what I've done is I've added 10mm onto the length of them once I've measured it. Make sure the base plate's sitting flat on the floor, which it is, and then double top plated to pick up all the roof load. There's a couple of gaps, so I might just have to put some bit of slate or something in there, some package, just to make sure it carries every single one. But the plan now is to remove this brick and remove this bit of wall plate, and then get up and under this these rafters with our beam. Now we're going to have to feed it in from that end, so it'll mean removing some brickwork, coming in from the garage, which is lucky for us, we've got that access, in from there and feeding it into the room. Now, normally, as you would know, the ceiling joists go on top of here, but they don't. The ceiling joist level is actually, where I went, there's one sticking through somewhere. Where was it? Can you see it up there? That's the ceiling joist there, which is ultimately the bottom of this brick, so you can just see the daylight. The bottom of that timber there, look, is the ceiling height. So we can afford to get ourselves in on top of this brick and then cut a bird's mouth, or recut the bird's mouth to go up higher. That has been designed, so that's the way we're going to do it. These temporary props then can come out. I'm yet to put my support beam in, like we did on the other flat to pitch roof, in here to support these, but that'll be propped off that wall there and built in and run through and propped off that wall there, and it is only to carry this little bit of flat roof and this pitch roof here. And then once we've got our Flitch beam in, or I can do it from this side, once the ceiling rafters go in, I can then prop up as well and support it in the middle. But I'm just going to put a piece of 6x2 through there, so that'll do the job for that, and then screw a piece of 4x2 onto the side of it for structure, rather than 2 pieces of 9x2, because it doesn't need it. We're not going to show us doing this, because we never do anyway, because the way we structure things and the way our design works out may not necessarily be the way that your design will work out for you. That's why we don't show it. That's why we don't show us putting steels in either. Because what we'd hate for you to do would be to copy the design, exactly what we've done, and it doesn't work for you. It needs calculating properly, timber sizes, Flitch beam sizes, where you put your beam. That's why we don't like to show it. So unfortunately you won't see much of this, you'll just see the end product once we've done it. We are currently in there as well, or Corby's in there, tidying that room up in there, because we've got to also add a Flitch beam into there. This one is a little bit more straightforward because everything is exposed. Now, it's been designed, Flitch beam again, but you can see roof load is pretty much zero. Now, I know there is still stress on these existing rafters here, but when you can see up there, halfway up this rafter here is a purlin. So, because we've got the lay boards in, it goes across there, across the top of the purlin and across there, but we've still got to put a continuous beam in to carry the spread of your roof load. So we'll pick up the roof load on this wall again through there, because you need 100mm minimum bearing. We've got about 150 there because that's like a double skin there, so we're lucky. And we can come across here and pick it up again on this double wall as well. We can get a good solid base there, a couple of 100mm. So we can do all that, and then we're going to cut all these back, remove these existing 6x2 ceiling joists which were through here, but you didn't see us cut them out because we didn't film it. And then we're going to cut back and get through to our rafters there, put a bird's mouth in, probably where that other beam is there, look, which looks like it was only put in just to carry the ceiling. And then we'll bird's mouth all the rafters, as I say, and then put our beam in, and we'll stick it from there all the way through onto that wall there. But like I say, this one is a lot more straightforward, so I'm looking forward to doing this one rather than that one in there. So we'll do the hard one first and maybe finish our day doing this one. So here it is in the cold light of day, and you're going to see there's a lot been done since the time lapse, and there's a reason for that, because it took us all day to get this beam in. It was a right pain in the rear end. We had to chop our double beam back there, which isn't a problem because we know it's just a cantilever for the what's it anyway, so I'm still happy with that. We've got to compo that in and put all the brickwork back in around this now anyway. So we got our double 9x3 on top of this wall here, albeit I had to take a little bit of a bit out of there, 10mm, just so I could get this up to the height of the underside of these. As you can see, the back one just touches the beam there, and then we've fixed it with some 120 I think coach bolt, M12 coach bolts into there, and that is nice and solid. What we've then done is, as you can see there, look, we've fixed the existing rafters together with some of these 200mm I don't know, timber lock screws, are they? Like a washered head. I do like these screws, they're excellent. And that is nice and solid now. Well, I mean, the first thing I need to point out to you is you can see the load. It's inspected at a double 9x3, but you can see that there is no load on it. All the load from that point to this point is on the purlin, and it's only from the purlin down to here that's actually got any load. All this here is null and void really, because it's carrying nothing, as you can see. But it is what it is, isn't it? You have to put these things in if you're told to, because you can't get away with not. We've come up with a bit of a plan to put the beam through into there, and I don't think we can film that because we've got to go in amongst that lot there. And we have prepped ourselves in there for the other beam, which we're going to do shortly. So I think we'll just get on with that. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, this beam has been a right pain in the arse. Let's have a look what we've done and what we're doing now. So this Flitch beam is now installed, and you can see the amount of bolts, M16 bolts we've had to put in, which basically goes to a plate that carries the roof, and we bolted this to the side of it, and then we're going to obviously build up under that corner, and that will then carry this beam. So that's, I'm happy with that, but it's took far too long. Too long being 2 days to get that in there, just because of where it is and the amount of space. We've got 700mm here between our little, between here and here, 700mm, it's tight. We've also installed this beam above us here, this double beam, like we did on the other roof, but I put that in first. But I couldn't do this first because I got nothing to sit it on. So you can see that's all in there, and that'll be built up that end off the wall there, and likewise built up off the wall there. What Corby's doing now is over there, look, with a saw. He is now cutting all of our ceiling joists, which, as you can see the laser line there, look, we put a 4x2 onto the wall plate, which will then be bolted with the turbo coach screws in a minute once we've got our correct line. And then we'll drop our 4x2s down, and they'll come just below this double beam. We didn't want to risk this, because the ceiling's out of level, we didn't want to risk this being in the way, so we put this purposely level, 20mm or so above the ceiling, finished ceiling. So we'll fix our 4x2, in this case, ceiling rafters, or ceiling joists in, sorry. and then we'll mini joist hanger around them onto this and onto this. If required, don't know yet. I might not bother because it's only 700mm. I might just nail them off. I reckon that'd be plenty, but we'll see. We'll see. So there we are. We'll crack on with this and we'll show you some more progress in a minute. So this is all now complete. I'm not going to put mini joist hangers on. It's 700mm rafter, joist, sorry. I've 4-inch nailed, 3 of either side of each one. And this side we can nail straight onto the plate, which has then been bolted on with these 100mm, I think they are, M10. Oh, maybe M12 actually. Turbo coach screws. I'm going to go through now and just drop a couple of nails in, all the way in each bay, all the way down. And I think that is more than sufficient to carry a little bit of plasterboard, don't you? So I'm happy with that. But moving on, I'm now going to go back into here. And if you can see, looking in that space there, compared to the space we've got in there, I'm looking forward to doing that one. At least I don't bang my head every 5 minutes, so that's good. All I'm going to do first is, as I've done in that room we just looked at, I'm going to put this timber onto there first. I believe I've already mentioned this before. And then do exactly the same as what I've done there. Put the timbers level to the bottom of that timber, or to my laser, and then put the roof joist level with that. And then again bolt that on, but I can be able to, with this one, it's a bigger ceiling, I can bolt one in the wall plate, look, and I can bolt one straight into the upright, which is why I've used 8x2 there, so I can get 2 good fixings in, so I can get one in the wall plate and one direct in each upright of that gable stud as well. So I'm happy with that. So that said, I'm going to need the assistance of Colby, so let's go and look at what he's up to. Another member of the team has come to join us now, so let's go and have a look what we've put him to work doing, or should I say what the customers put him to work doing, because we're just all mucking on this one because there's a hell of a lot to get done. So let's have a look. Look who it is. Here he is, look. Here he is. Look at his moustache. Oh yes, very nice. Very
Dr. Robotnik, I think it was called, or Bronson, or something other.
something. What Magnum PI's butler wants it? I can't remember what his name is. Was it Magnum PI's butler you were called last year?
Is that Hawkins?
Hawkins, yeah, that's it. What Matthew was doing is adding external wall insulation, and this system requires him to dab it on first, and then, as you can see down there, which is a bit of a tester, he then puts these washers, hammer fixed washers, straight on top.
Just behind your mounting box. Show her.
Yes, I will.
To the thermal fixings that have been warm decks.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, there we are. Like Matthew said, they are very, very similar. In fact, almost identical than the thermal fixes we use for warm roof. You're absolutely correct, Matthew. So 8mm hole, drop that in, and then just hammer that, and that onto bruise that, then spreads that bit out, and then expands that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even in shot then. Sorry about that. You knock it in. That goes into there, and then it expands that bit, and then that expands that middle bit as well. 8mm drill bit. So many 8 per. Is it 6 per sheet or something?
It says 5 per sheet, but to be fair, because the wall's out.
2 top, 2 bottom, 1 in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's quite nice to get a good fixing with the dab as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you got to use them.
So that's what Matthew's up to. Whether we're going to get any kind of top coat or anything done on top of it is debatable because of the crap weather. Yeah. More than likely, it's a definite no. But if we do attempt it, it's going to be a case of a bit of, I don't know, a bit of something fixed to there and a bit of onto here and a bit of a cover anyway.
A wall brolly.
A bit of. And as I said, I've got to come and get Corby for 5 minutes, and this is what he's up to. Corby is very kindly mucked in and started doing all the cuts for him. So when he does got all his stuff mixed up, at least he's got his cuts ready to go. So that's what Corby's up to, isn't he, Corb?
Yep.
Look how smart he is in his tough stuff. Look how smart he is. Look at him.
Jealous.
Look at him.
Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that sunset looks suspiciously like the one at the beginning of the video. Well, it is. There you go. That's how these videos are made, with a 95% truthful rate. But there we have it. So this is what the lads have been completing, I should say, in my absence. Not that they ever need me hanging around to tell them what to do, but I think they do need me to fact check whether or not Magnum PI had a butler or not, and whether he was called Hodgkins or Higgins. Oh my word, fancy getting that wrong. Anyway, I really like this detail here. I think it's a great idea, brilliantly executed. Unfortunately, I just can't show it off, I just can't get the angle. But once that's done and the scaffold's down and it's finished and we're over there looking at that, that I reckon is going to stand out. That is brilliant. Anyway, just show you a bit of a snippet of what's to come in future episodes. Richard, we're still waiting for the scaffold for the extension over the back. So in the meantime, Richard and Corby have been prepping this garage roof for a brand new roof, which is going to be a gable ended. Basically, it's that more or less continued all the way across with the same cantilever and everything. So doing prep work for that. All that is to be in future episodes. So we'll come to that as and when. If I now go down the ladder. Excuse me while I concentrate. And then Rich and Corby are finishing the episode and their working day. As you putting these noggins in from the ceiling, you just saw them do on the time lapse. Enjoy yourself, Rich.
Cut your wood up, innit? Don't go any better.
I thought you were nailing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for treating that what it deserved. Yeah, so I've been round. I've just been got some comp up as and when. I've blocked up, bricked up underneath all the supporting timbers that are putting these steels in, and I have put the wall plate on the an extension over there. All will become relevant because they are relevant to other episodes, not this one. But I haven't completely just dodged the work here, but I've ain't done a fair bad job of doing so. You all right there, Corbs?
Yeah, well, good.
He looks good in his stuff, doesn't he?
Yes.
10% off, links in the description. Rightio then, Rich, I'll hand it over to you to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming. Try a bit.